My friend, welcome to the world's best kept secret podcast, a podcast that brings you exclusive interviews from experts all over the world with life-changing work that you didn't even know existed. I'm your host, Prima, a partner for those that are ready to take their life-changing work in front of those whose life or business depends on it. Please follow or subscribe for more. Welcome back. Today I have Pauline in the studios, and I wanted to bring on Pauline because she is someone that speaks about a topic that I am so excited about, a topic I know nothing about. And so I am sat here excited to interview her because I genuinely don't understand the work. I am not aware of the work. I am ignorant about this work. And so I want to get her brain and pick everything I can. And at the end, I hope that you, my friend, will benefit the same way, and we will all move from zero to somewhere where we understand this life-changing work that she does. What attracted me to Pauline's work is she has a book called Who's Holding the Microphone? Think about that. Like, who is holding the microphone of your life? I have never asked myself this question. Maybe you haven't. But there is someone that is holding the microphone. There is someone that is running the show. There is someone that is making the decisions. Question is it you? And my hope is that today we're gonna really dig in and talk about her thought process when it comes to life and how we're moving through life. You know, at one point, I had never sat to really answer the question, what life do I want? I had never sat to answer that question. And then I asked myself, like, why would the life I want show up if I never write it down or never consciously say this is the life I want? And so today I'm really excited because I think it's going to be a very valuable conversation. Before we get in, I wanted to talk more about Pauline's work and where she comes from to do this work. I want to call her a maverick and a multi-dimensional sovereignty. She's a maverick in multi-dimensional sovereignty, and the author of Who's Holding the Microphone, as I already said. This is a journey to physical, energetic, mental, and emotional sovereignty, or I think the highest version of that. She has multiple qualifications. So she has multiple tools that she uses to help people, all the way from NLP, master hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, yoga, Reiki. I can read them until the day ends, but she has a bag of tools. Think about it like she has a bag of qualifications, certifications, all these tools that she uses based on where you're at and what is going on for you. And what I find very beautiful about her work is that she comes from the school of hard knocks. She's battled a serious chronic illness in her own life. And so when she's teaching from her own experiences, her own tears, her own frustrations. She's paid the price with her own life, so we didn't have to pay the same price. She's now discovered a path to healing and is fully recovered, and she sits in this place to help us break free. She has unique methodologies, and really what her wish is, what her whole mission is to help the world, to help people live the most authentic and joyful lives. And I really want to dig in because I am very keen on her work and what it does for people and the magnitude of the lack of awareness that exists for her work is what touches my heart. She's so life-changing, yet I don't understand it. And so I consider myself someone who is always reading, studying, learning. But I'm like, okay, I'm ignorant about this. How many other people are? Without further ado. Pauline, Welcome to the world's best kept secret. It's my honor to have you today.
It's my honor to be here. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. Those words were absolutely beautiful in terms of communicating that there is so little awareness about this life-changing work. And we are seeing changes on the planet because of things like this. We're talking about things like this. People like me are walking their paths and coming forward and saying, hey, this is what I experienced. Is anyone else experiencing it?
I love it. Emma, cut. So I feel like your microphone is in and out. I don't know if we can improve it, but I think he'll cut because I'll make notes for him. I feel like your microphone is brally, so I don't know if there's any way we can make it better.
Yeah, let me, I have a headset or earbuds. Let me do earbuds first.
Okay, give it a go. Before we even proceed, how do you pronounce the second name?
My name, McGuire.
McGuire. I didn't want to say it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes you can pronounce it sovereignty. We're talking about sovereignty.
What is the other word for sovereignty? What does it mean?
So another word for sovereignty is self-governing.
Is it like self-leadership?
Yeah, self-governing, so that you are governing all of so if you look at it like a country, if a country is sovereign, they are managing all of their own aspects. They're not dependent or on anything else.
Okay, cool.
And so it's energetic sovereignty.
Okay, cool. Emma, so cut out this part from the part where I bring her on to the part now and start recording from here.
Okay.
Pauline, welcome to the World's Best Kept Secret podcast. I couldn't think of a better best kept secret than yourself.
Thank you. I have to agree that my work is very, it's not well known at all. However, it affects so many people. The symptoms of being unaware of walk-in and walk-in complications, if you're experiencing them, show up as mental, physical, and emotional illness. And how many people do we know are experiencing physical illness, mental illness, emotional illness, with the underlying root cause of being energetic? So people are looking at physical illness or looking for physical environmental factors. Very few people are looking at what is the root cause and what is the energy that's bringing this.
You know, Pauline, the reason I wanted you to come on is because I am very ignorant about the work you do. And I will use this opportunity to take you back to like square one, junior school, and ask you the most basic questions, because I actually want my friend on the other side to kind of say, oh my God, I think I understand this. If they're in my place, which is like, who are walk-ins and what is this? And so first of all, who are walk-ins? I know you serve walk-ins, but who are walk-ins really?
So in your, let's talk you and me. So in your model of the world, what do you have in your body? Do you refer to it as a soul, a spirit, an essence?
I would say I have a soul and I'm guided by intuition. I have a gut, and so I know where to go, when to go, and I just know.
Okay. So you have a soul in your body. And when did that soul come into your body?
I was born with it.
Okay. So you were born with it. And so for many people, that model is being called born in, when the soul comes in before birth, right around birth. You know, it depends, but at birth. So that's being called born in. That's what I thought my model of the world was for decades. So, but there's another model and it's called walking in. Instead of the soul being born into the body, the soul walks into the body. So if you look at the body as a house, the house can change owners, where one soul leaves and another soul comes in. It's all done by agreement. And so when I say walk in, I'm a walk in. It means that you came into the body at some point in time in the life. And as a result of that, your experience is very different. The world is modeled around people who were born in, right? You remember being a baby and this and that, and having, close ties with people you grew up with. But when you're a walk-in, your experience is different. And if you're unaware that you're a walk-in, then you may find things very confusing or discordant in your life. Does that
I would like to ask you different questions so we can peel these layers, so we can get the listener to go, oh, I finally understand this. So what is the problem that I will experience if I refuse to get myself out, if I miss this message, if I never understand the work you do? What problem does your work solve? Let's start there. What problem does your work solve?
I'm going to talk about that in two aspects. So the walking in is a beautiful, beautiful method of getting very high dimensional souls down onto the planet in functional bodies wherever they're needed in the world. Walk-in bodies are beautiful. They are able to handle the transition from one soul to the next. The body adapts to the energy that's in it. So I'm going to talk about two things. One is if somebody's not having complications, and if they are. So let's say you're a walk-in and you're not aware of it, and you've had a shift, everything about you can change. So I'll give you examples. So you don't know that you've had a shift, that the energy is completely different. And from almost what it feels like from one day to the next is the life you're living, you're not happy. You don't know why. You're in relationships that aren't working for you anymore. And nothing about the life fits. That's what happened with me. And I closed my business. I sold everything that I had. I was living in a house that I was living a life that I hadn't built. The previous occupant had built it. And it didn't fit. It didn't make sense. It wasn't comfortable for me. It held no value for me. So if you looked at it from the world's point of view, here I was with this beautiful career, this beautiful house, this beautiful life, and it was discordant. It was uncomfortable, but I didn't know why until I found out. When you walk into the body's the same, but so let's say you walk in at 40 years old. All the relationships that the previous occupant had, they're not yours. These people could essentially be strangers to you, yet they might be relatives. They might be friends you've had for decades. And the things that previous occupant enjoyed doing, you have no interest in. So now you've walked into a life that does not suit you. It doesn't appeal to you, and it doesn't meet your needs on any level. If you're not aware that you're a walk-in, that's really confusing, right? Suddenly you wake up and you're looking at your spouse going, what? You're looking at this life going, why am I unhappy?
Okay. Let me ask a clarifying question there. So are you saying some people are born walk-ins and some are not? Or are you saying you're probably fine, but if you are unhappy, you may be a walk-in and you don't know it. You might be living a life that doesn't belong to you. How do I know I'm a walk-in versus how do I know I am not? Is it, am I either born one or the other? Or is it, are you happy where you're at? If you're not, then maybe there is a problem.
Yes. So there are very common symptoms of being a walk-in.
Take us there.
Pardon me?
Take me there. I would love to know the symptoms.
Okay, so yeah, there are very common, there's commonalities. One is that you lose your memories, right? So you may not have memories of childhood, or even there can be gaps, but it's, for me, how that shows up, it's like an old sepia movie. Like I look back, the memories are very faint. I'm not connected to them. I have no emotional connection. It's like I'm looking at somebody else's photo album. And it's me, but I don't have any connection. You may find that you lose the relationship that you have, that people that you once were close with, you're not anymore. They feel like strangers to you. You've undergone very drastic changes. So you may have had career change, a lot of relationship changes. Your physical appearance may have drastically changed. And you'll see that on my website, my pictures. You can tell by looking at me that I'm not the same person in this body. Your sexual orientation can change. Your eye color can change. My blood type changed.
Wow.
So these are all because the incoming soul's energy and choices determine how it's going to be physically manifested, how this life is going to be physically manifested. So if you're going through all these changes and you don't know what's going on, it can be scary. It's like, what's happening to me? It's been sold as maybe a midlife crisis, or, you're having a breakdown or something when you're not aware of what's driving it.
So what you're saying is these things are happening to you, but you don't know why you're losing.
You don't know why.
Yeah. You don't know why you're disconnected from your friends. You don't know why these drastic changes happening for you. You don't know why the career that you once enjoyed is no longer making sense. You don't know why you probably look older than you are or whatever. And you're like, what is happening to me? And they can decide to call it a medical condition. They can decide to say it's midlife crisis. They can decide to say it is, people will label it. But what you're saying is sometimes you're just a walk-in. Is that correct? Or
yes. And so now imagine this. So you have a life, you have a family, you have friends, and you have, a dance to your relationships. You have an energy about you. Now that's changed. And you're energetically, people are like, you're not the same. So people start to leave your life. Relationships can end, but if you're not in awareness, you may be like, what's happening? Why is all of this changing? And there's two specific things I want to talk about. One is an uncomplicated walk-in, which means that the walk-in bodies are beautiful at handling the change. However, there's only ever meant to be one soul in the body. So that's an uncomplicated walk-in. So the one soul leaves and the other soul comes in, right? You want to be in awareness of that. The other thing that can happen, which is what happened to me, is you have complications, which means that the other soul didn't leave. Now you have more than one soul in the body. And if this happens multiple times over a lifetime, like me, I had 9 souls in the body. When I found out what was happening, there was 9 souls in the body. So when we talk about who's holding your microphone, in the case of a walk-in that's had complications, what ends up happening is that the occupants timeshare the body.
Why don't we jump into your story first? Because I feel like I need to understand the problem you're solving. And how do I know that I have that problem? I am still not clear. Why don't we jump into your story for a moment and let's hear it? Because it may help us understand, like, really, what does this? How does it manifest? What even causes it? Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'll give you my life. There was a lot of trauma in my family at age 4. And so that resulted in a lot trauma, emotional, mental trauma within the family, coping strategies. I started to get sick at age 11. And I got endometriosis. So I started having my menstrual cycle at age 11.
Wow.
And I was very sick, right? From the very beginning. Every month, it got to the point where I would be hospitalized because of the pain and the bleeding. And I was a young teenager, right? So it derailed my life. I never felt like I fit in. I felt like I had been placed in a family, but it wasn't my family. And I felt that very much so in a world that said, oh, honor your parents, and, this is your family. These are who are here to support you. I never felt that. I felt like a changeling in my family. So they wanted to do a hysterectomy on me by the time I was 18 to give me some kind of quality of life. And my mother disagreed with that for religious reasons. And I was so angry. I was just like, I'm not functioning here, right? There was anemia. There's so many different things that go along with that. And so I continued on, not good relationships with my family. I was very confused. One of the biggest symptoms is inconsistency. It's like, what you want for your life, but you're not consistent in getting there. Your actions do not meet your words or your intentions. And you don't know why. And you're beating yourself up for it. You're trying everything. Why am I not? I know what I want. I know what I'm capable of. But you never get there. And you don't know what the disconnect is.
I like that description. I like it. You know where you're going. You actually do the work. You're putting in the reps, but you feel like you're just not making progress. I like it.
Yeah. And it's confusing and it's demoralizing. And so I'll continue on, right? So I was told I would never have children. I was conditioned to believe that because of my medical condition, I would never have children. And then I married and I set the intention to have a child. And with thousands of dollars of IVF medications in the fridge, I got pregnant naturally.
Wow.
Then what happened after that? Depression. Oh my gosh. So now I was living in this depressed state. Just nothing was making me happy. All the things that in my life that I was supposed to be grateful for didn't really mean anything to me. I kept changing jobs, had a lot of jobs. I would hit periods of my life where I would just downward spiral and I couldn't help myself. It's labeled as depression. there was just always this feeling that something was not right. It's not supposed to be this way. Never feeling at home in my body, shall we say? There was, I'll give you an example. So I forget what year this was, maybe 2018. And I was riding my bike, love riding my bike. So I would do like 30, 40 kilometers on my bike and just get that peace, that clarity. And so one day I was riding my bike and then I came home, I made a meal and I was like, oh, I just love eating this. I forget what I was eating, but I just love it. And I had rolled in a new course, right? Learning new things, and just was like, oh, wow, it feels like maybe my life is going to start going in the right direction, that this is it, right? Like this is that finally I found what's going to work for me. The next day, I couldn't get out of bed.
Wow.
I'd eaten 6 donuts.
Wow.
And the voice in my head was trashing me. Who the F do you think you are? Why did you spend all that money on that course? We're never going to finish that course.
Wow.
I thought I was schizophrenic or bipolar. I knew it wasn't supposed to be this way. I had no idea what was going on. I had done the psychiatrists and the psychologists and the antidepressants, and there was no change. And now I'm like, what is this? And that I started that journey into what is this? I know it's not meant to be this way.
I like the question. I like the question, what is this? I don't like it. I don't like the way life is panning out for me.
I'm not meant to feel this way.
I know there is better for me. I haven't experienced it, but I know it's there. And at this point, my life doesn't make sense. Is that a good way to think about that condition?
Yes. And something else to consider is nothing in my life has led me to believe that something better exists, but I know it does.
You just have a knowing that your life looks different than it is right now. A life that there is something better. I love where we are at right now. So this work is for you if you have that knowing that you're meant to live a different life, but you do not know how to get there. You do not know why you are where you are. You don't know why you're diagnosed the way you're diagnosed. You just know life doesn't make sense. And you know there is something else. You feel like no one has given you the answer or the right answer, which ticks in your brain.
Yes.
I love where we've landed. I know.
And you have tried so much. You have tried everything. You have done the courses. You have done the coaches. You have done the self-help. You've done it all. And you might have had a little bit of a movement for a while, but then it goes back. And you get increasingly frustrated. You've probably, like me, spent a ton of money on so many things, trying to find the answer.
I like it.
Sorry. And that knowing is keeping you going because everything else feels like it's making the ruts deeper.
So it's the knowing, it's the gut, it's the invisible vision that you have that is saying, no, there is something.
And you have to trust that. And there's very little in life that's leading you to trust.
I like that. You feel like you're taking 4 steps forward and 10 steps back.
Yeah. And it's happening repeatedly, and it can be really demoralizing, and you don't understand it, and the people in your life don't understand it, and depending on their level of awareness, they may be judging you, and you're doing the best you can.
I love that.
And you don't know that there are multiple occupants in your body holding the microphone at different points in time. And then what happens is the body's not designed for that. Now the body can get sick.
Mm.
and you're dealing with health issues and you're like, what is this? Like, I don't know. I've had people come to me, advanced organ failure, stage 4 cancer multiple times, heart issues, cancer, strokes, tumors, because the body is sending messages that there's something wrong. And if you're in a Western medical world, it's all physical. Nobody's looking at the energetics behind it. Is why is this? What's manifesting this? What's bringing this?
So it's the energy. It's the energy.
It's the energy that's embodied.
Mm.
And the lack of consistency. So now look at those days that I had with the biking, and then the donuts and the shit talk, for lack of a better word. The day that I was biking and doing that was me. That was my primary occupant. That was the one that's meant to be here, right? And she feels really good. So that on that day when she was holding the microphone, it's like, oh yeah, this is it. This is the way it's meant to be. Right. I'm happy. There's a rightness about this. And then the next day, now it's an occupant that wanted to leave, was meant to leave. They don't want to be here. And it's like, what are you doing? We're never going to finish that course. In their world, we're not going to finish that course. We're never going to finish that course because they don't want to finish the course. It's not their jam.
I really love it. I love it.
So not until the day that I had my walk-in clearings, which is the work that I do, not until that day did I know that I had a committee in my freaking head. I had the clearings. My body immediately, I fell asleep for about 5 hours. My body was doing a complete reset, reboot, and I woke up. And my first thought was, it's quiet in my head. I had never experienced that. And my first interfered with walking was at age 8, right before the sickness started, right? This body's had back issues, back surgery, fibromyalgia, Crohn's, like it just kept getting worse and worse. The body was sending messages.
Wow. I love it because I feel like now we have an understanding of the work. I have an understanding of the work. There is a version of you that is meant to be.
Yes.
And sometimes you have people coming in, walk-ins, uninvited guests in your life. And when you're holding the microphone of your life, you feel like this is it, the dream. You're so happy. You're like, this is the life. But then you feel like some days someone steals the microphone.
Yeah.
And you're on donuts, you're on the couch, you're drinking, you're smoking, you're like, who is this
exactly
person?
Uncontrollably.
Yeah. And you're like, no, this is not me. You feel like someone else is holding the microphone and it's not you. Like the you that you know deep inside you wouldn't be saying what you're saying. And
yes,
so
wouldn't be doing what you're doing.
And so really the work you do is who is holding the microphone, because we need only that one person that is meant to hold the microphone, and all these uninvited guests need to leave. And so this is the clearing work. These other voices, these other people need to leave. And we need
they wanted to leave. Let's let them go on their journey and let you have sovereignty in your body. And here's the other thing. If you incarnated via walk-in, my whole body's in goosebumps. You came with a big purpose. This is not your first rodeo. You came to bring gifts and skills to this planet. So your urgency is greater. It it is so when you imagine the most motivated, you came here and boom, I know what I need to bring to this planet. I know why I chose to do this. And then you hit a brick wall and you keep hitting a brick wall. And the common term is, I know I have a purpose. What's my purpose? I can't figure out my purpose. Right? How many times have you heard that?
It's so funny because this message is for the boom.coms. You know that there is something haunting you. Like for me, the day I decided, oh my God, this week I'm not doing anything, there is the message, a voice haunting me. No, you have a calling on your life. Get up. Like I feel like there is this haunting voice in my head saying, no, there's people whose life, business, there's people whose mission is depend on you. You need to get up and move. You need to get up. Like, it doesn't matter how I feel. It doesn't matter what is happening in my life. I feel like the only way to get myself out of this jail sentence is to show up and help people.
And that's what it feels like, a jail sentence.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know you're supposed to live in joy. You know you're supposed to live in happiness and grace and authentic gratitude, right? You know that's the state you came here to live in.
I really like where we are. So you just know that there is something greater than the chaos, the confusion, the state you're in. And the work that Pauline does is she clears all the noise, all the other uninvited guests, and you hold the microphone of your life, which gives you the clarity to really go after the things you want. I want to pivot and take the root of, so what is the process of moving from this place to the place where I can hold the microphone and start building?
The first thing is awareness. Awareness that another model of the world other than being born in exists. That the complications that you're experiencing are when you get this information, you could go to fear, rejection. Hang on. There's people that I meet as soon as I'm talking to them, and I can see their eyes bugging out. I can see the connections, the neural networks connecting, and they're like, oh, there's something here for me. And they get really excited. And that's resonance, right? That tells you there's something there for you. The same way you look at food and you're like, oh, I want to eat that, but I don't want to eat that. There's something there for you, right? Depending how away from awareness people are about this subject, they may need to hear it a couple of times. But know this, if something shows up in your life, it's for you. I'll meet people and they'll be like, what do you do? And I'll tell them, and their eyes bug out and you're like, you're the third person this week to talk about walk-ins. Pay attention to that. Everything that you've asked for is showing up, right? All the awareness. The other thing is when you're listening to this, are you breaking out in goosebumps? Is your body sending you a message about this? That there's something here for you. And the other thing that people don't understand indicates resonance is if you are in flat out rejection of this and you are in judgment of this. That's not true. That can't be. That can't exist. They don't know what they're talking about. You're in resonance with this subject. The only thing that indicates not resonance is, oh, that's nice. And you keep moving. But if you're having any kind of reaction to this information, there's something there for you. So people ask me, okay, Pauline, there's something here for me. What's the next step? What do I do? So there's two things. One is that the symptoms of a interfered with or a complicated walk-in, there's some pretty common symptoms. And the energies that created the complications, there's commonalities there. So I've developed a quiz. It's on my website. It's called the Energetic Free Will Quiz. Take the quiz. You'll be given a number out of 21. 0 is amazing. 21 means you're experiencing the symptoms. So you'll get a number. You'll also get a color: green, yellow, red alert. So that's your kind of black and white. That's the tangible. That's the tangible. Yeah. Okay. I've got some stuff going on here. And you, at that point in time, once you take the quiz, you are given the opportunity to book a free 20-minute call with me. And during that call, my objective is to give you your information, because you've said, hey, I want to know. There's some people that don't want to know, but you've said, hey, I want to know. And that's when I intuit and dowse and get your information and ask, are you a walk-in? Do you have multiple occupants? What's going on here? And what are your next steps?
I like that. I like that. You need to understand, like, are you holding the mic or are you not?
Yeah.
Are you governing your body, or is somebody else doing that for you? Do you need this kind of work or no? And I think the first step is to really get the awareness. But I'm just wondering, if I found myself having the walk-ins and needed the help, needed the clearance, needed all of that, I was just wondering if we could use a minute or 2 or 3 to kind of outline the process that goes on between. I'm so confused. I don't even know what to do. It's like one day I'm up there and another day I'm dead. 2, I am in control. I am governing myself. I'm holding the microphone. Let's roll. I was just wondering if we could use a minute or something to take the listener through what happens after the quiz. The first thing is awareness. You take the quiz, you get to understand, oh, I'm a green, which means I'm fine. Move. I'm a red, which means there's some stuff that needs to be cleared. I am a red alert, which means I am in danger. And so I just wanted to understand, like, if I am a red alert right now and I hire you to work with me, I hire you to work with me and help me, I wanted to understand that process of transformation from red alerts to green, if it makes sense.
Absolutely. Fantastic question. And I want to say that if you're in red or red alert, life isn't working for you. There is no satisfaction, happiness. There is this confusion. There's probably a lot of frustration, demoralized. You've spent a lot of money taking courses, training, building businesses that aren't working. That is incredibly common, because you know, I'm capable of this. This is what I came here to do. You just don't understand why it's not working. So somebody comes to me, they've taken the quiz, they've heard of this, something resonated, they take the quiz, they book the 20-minute call, they get on the call with me, and they've given me some information at that point in time. And the first thing I do is I dowse. Are they a walk-in? Do they have multiple occupants? What else is going on? I get that information. And then, okay, so what are their next steps? For some people, it's not the clearings. They're not ready for the clearings. So what are the next steps? Are there any prerequisites? And so then we go into walk-in clearings. The walk-in clearings are two appointments, at least 2 appointments, generally between 4 and 6 hours. And that's at the very first appointment. That's when we do the data collection. How many occupants do you have? When did this start? What all has to be cleared here? What occupants have to be cleared? What interference energies have to be cleared? Are there family, generational, and ancestral issues and contracts that need to be addressed, because when you're a walk-in, you're not doing this just for you. You're doing it for the lineage of the body. And so a completed walk-in clearing for me is that there is one occupant in the body. And through the process of interfered with walk-ins, and I've done a ton of research on this because I was like, why? I talk to my body about everything. My body, I self-muscle test on everything, food, supplements, everything. But I'd be like, body, why is this happening? Like, why is that not changing? So much is changing, but why is that not changing? And my body came back and said, I don't have the authority to change that. And I was like, oh, well, who does then? And through the process of the interfered with walk-ins, my body's ability to self-regulate had been taken away. So figured out the process for giving it back. And so a completed walk-in clearing is that there's one occupant in the body and that the body has 100% autonomy and authority to self-regulate. That's the beginning. And you'll know, when did this start? When did this first happen to me? I've had clients as young as age 3. There is no recollection of sovereignty in the body, none. So then we begin the process of bringing those changes into real life, clearing the thought patterns, cleaning up the body. What are the thought processes that don't serve you anymore? Daily clearing protocols. So because you want to stay that way. So that is integration, and it's one of the biggest joys in my life is seeing people in their integration, because they go from red alert to absolutely soaring like a rocket ship. Everything that they've been trying to do, it falls into place, it clicks, and they go.
I think I understand what you're saying. Let me try and recap so you can tell me where I'm off and where, if I'm having this right or if I'm off, and we can kind of realign. So really the problem is you have occupants in the house that you don't even know exist.
Yeah.
You were born with this soul that is meant to soul. There's a big calling on your life and a big drive in your heart to keep moving. However, as you started moving through life, occupants entered your house. The problem is you didn't invite them, so you don't even know they're there. And so you feel like there's the you that is meant to be in the house, and one day you have the microphone, but you feel like some days you don't. You feel like some days you don't know what's happening, and things are just not going well. And you know that, you know what, something is off. And no matter what I've tried, I don't seem to nail it. And now you're open to the idea that there may be walk-ins that we need to get rid of. And so the first step is to get aware.
Yes.
By taking the quiz, which will show you, oh, you're green, nothing is happening. So maybe look somewhere else. Or you're a red alert, which means, yeah, there is some occupants. And until we get rid of them, things might stay the same. And what I
Things will stay the same.
So what I then understand is this awareness gets them to the desire of, oh, I want to take back my power. I want to evict all these people from my house. I don't want them there. And now in that process of evicting the people that you don't want in your house is when all of these tools come up.
Yes.
Who are these tenants? The thought patterns, protocols, integration, beliefs, systems, all these things that were inserted in your life that you were not born with is what's calling clearance. Like, we have to clear the house and leave only the person that needs to be there. And so Pauline has this tool, which is going to help you eliminate all of these occupants that you didn't invite, that you're sharing space with. And what is left of that is the one person that needs to be in the house holding the microphone And what is going to then happen is you do these daily clearing protocols to keep those other people out. I think they're like weeds in the garden. It's like, yeah.
So I just want to clarify something.
Mm.
Those occupants were all legitimate,
Oh,
right?
okay.
But they were meant to leave,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
It was only ever meant to be one occupant in, one out, right?
Mm.
So they were all legitimate, but they were never meant to stay. So look at it as a house. Now, the primary occupant, the last occupant in, owns the deed to the house. So look at integration as to say, okay, I have the deed to this house. Everybody else that's living here needs to leave. All of your stuff, all of your baggage, let's get all that out with you, right? Now we have an empty house. Now let's make sure that this house, everything in this house aligns with me and where I'm going.
It's really like the real estate business. It's like being a tenant. Imagine if no one ever left that house. Imagine if they left their stuff there. Imagine if they didn't clean up. Imagine if every tenant came and found the other tenant stuff. So by tenant 10, it will be chaos, which is what is happening
chaos.
in your life. And
it's
so
energetic chaos.
Yeah.
Right?
Really, yeah, I understand now what you mean. So really the work Pauline does is to make sure that the tenant system works the way it should work, that every tenant leaves, the house is cleansed, and made to perfection of the new tenant for the life that they want to live in this house.
Exactly.
Amazing. What did I leave there? Like, what did I leave out that is so key in that process?
You didn't leave anything out, but what I want to say is that you've spent maybe the majority or a good part of your life frustrated about this, right? Not knowing it and being disheartened and frustrated and even demoralized because nothing was working. And you've lost hope in some cases. But what I want you to know is that the process of going from red alert to flying and going exactly where you need to be and being at peace in your body and being in joy and knowing you're on your path and you got this, that's fast. Because now, so look at it as your connection to your guidance. At the end of the day, that's what this is about, right? You're receiving your guidance, but now, and you're interpreting your guidance. So we have two examples. One is everybody's getting their guidance. Now I'm interpreting my guidance in a vessel that has multiple occupants that aren't me. I have an energetic soup going on. How I'm interpreting my guidance is drastically affected. Now I'm sovereign in my body. All the tenants have been let go. All the baggage has been let go. It is just my very clear energetic signal. How I'm interpreting that guidance is completely different. And it's the connection to the guidance that I am on it, whatever. And you're going to have challenges in life. We all know that. But the difference is when you have walk-in complications, you can't get through the challenges. And people tell you, oh, try harder. You're not trying hard enough. And you know you're trying hard enough. But when you're sovereign and connected, the challenges just become wisdom. They just become, oh yeah, I got this. Yeah, I'll find a solution for that. You're just in your knowing.
I really love the explanation because I really now understand. You're in a house, and in this house, for example, you don't smoke, but there is a smoker, there's a drug dealer, there is all these people, and your judgment, the way you make decisions is clouded because there's all these people who
that
don't
you don't know are there.
And you feel like you're clouded. You feel like you just can't. Things are just fuzzy. I like this. And so you're moving us from this place to the place of sovereignty, which is like, I got this. There's nothing too hard for me to take care of.
It's peace.
I can, yeah.
And it's a challenge, right? It's like, it makes life gets exciting. It's like, oh, I want to get my message out to the world. Now we don't have problems. Now we have opportunities. Oh, how can I do this? Now life is fueling you.
Yeah. I love it. I really love it. I understand you do support people in different capacities. Please tell us about that. How do you help people move from red alert or chaos to complete sovereignty? Or, you know what? I have the microphone and God help you if you get in my way.
Yeah, I'm keeping it, right? And so I help people. My work is all clearing work is done one-to-one with me.
Oh, okay.
It can be done in person. I wherever I am in the world, I meet people. I attract people. They walk up to me and they're like, I don't know. I'll be in an airport. I don't know why I need to speak to you, but something's telling me to speak to you. And I'll be like, I don't presuppose anything, but I'm like, I probably have an idea as to why you want to speak to me. So whether it's in person, if you're in local proximity to me, or it's done via Zoom. So all clearing is done one-to-one with me. The coaching so my integration, there's two levels. One is my integration program is called Lift Off, and it takes you through everything that you need to address, clear. Oh, the sun just rose. It's beautiful. And that is a minimum 3 months. Some people can accomplish in 3 months. Some people require more. And then so you're in weekly contact with me. Actually, yeah. And then there are some people who opt to say, Pauline, I want more hands-on, and they go into a one-to-one coaching with me, where all of our calls are face-to-face and very customized, and we very quickly maneuver for them. They might have had a bit more challenges. And then, so what I want to say is that once the complications have been cleared and the body has authority again to self-regulate, the illness and the disease can leave. Right? I'll give you an example. I had one gentleman, stage 4 cancer. I think it was the second or third time. And he just said, this is it. Like, if I don't figure it out this time, I'm dying. And that's the thing, is if this has gone on for a long time, they know that their body's going to die. And at the end of the clearings, I was talking to his body, can you let the cancer go? Yes. Wow. Would you? Yes. And the body required some support, but it did not want the cancer meds. It was like, no, that's why I need the support, is because of all the meds.
I like it. So the clearing is one-on-one, and then from the clearing is the integration. So now you're clear, the tenants are out, but yes, we have to integrate the process of keeping the weeds out, the process of keeping the tenants out. And yes, you can either choose the modality that fits you. You can do it one-on-one coaching or in another modality. It really depends. I am going to try and put all
not another modality. I never suggest anyone does integration except with me, because other practitioners do not know what I know.
No, like, I mean, what I heard or understood is that you clear one-on-one and you have one-on-one coaching, but I felt like there was another modality that you support people, which is like a weekly access and maybe a group. That's how I understood it. Yeah.
Yes. So we teach you all the new skills and tools to live at this level, right? The clearing protocols, everything that you need to integrate this occupant to live at its highest potential. And then one of the most important things is community, right? to be with people who are walking your specific path.
Mm.
And I lead a private community of walk-ins.
That's beautiful.
And teach them. My commitment to that group is that I teach them in real time what I'm experiencing. We're all evolving. We came here to evolve. We came here to be our best version. That is my number one priority in life. And I teach them in real time. I'm always evolving. My teachings are evolving. My tools are evolving. And that's when they get, that's the group, is the community. So you get the support. You get to be with other walk-ins, see their challenges. How are we overcoming that? And how are we moving from the complications and all of that into this paradigm of, we came here with a purpose. Everything that we do and everything that we need needs to align to that, because that's where we're going.
I love it. So it's clearing one-on-one, and then it's integration, either as one-on-one if you want, or as a group with access. I think now I understand. We'll try and put the relevant links in the show notes so that you can, rightfully, wherever you are, you can scroll through and see your entry point. But before we came, we'd agreed with Pauline that we'll have a link to book a call in the chat. And so if you would love to book a call with her, you can. But she prefers that you take the quiz before that. And so I do believe that there will be a quiz which you take to then unlock the call. That's how I understood her process. Because when you sit on the call, she needs to understand where you're at. Are you green, a red, or a red alert? Because then that helps with the information that you need. This is an awareness call. And once you're aware where you're at, and then you can make a decision moving forward.
And here's something here's something really important. Every walk-in child has a walk-in parent. So if you are thinking there's something there for you, there might be more to it. It might be you waking up to your purpose to lead your child. The children incarnating via walk-in on this planet are highly gifted, but they're children. They're in child bodies. They need to be stewarded. They need to be, their gifts need to be developed. That needs to be done in awareness. So this may not just be about you.
So are you saying you can do this for someone else?
No, it means that if I'm listening to this podcast and there is something there for me, and but I also am a parent. I have children. Every walk-in child has a walk-in parent. Are your children walk-in? Do they need you in awareness, walking your true path to model that for them and support them on their path?
That's really good. That's really good. The thing I'd like to really ask of you who is listening, if this has been insightful for you, because I didn't know about walk-ins until today. And now that I understand walk-ins, I can list for you 10 people that are walk-ins or have this problem. But I didn't understand that until today. And so really my ask for you who is listening is always, can you identify someone that is not holding the microphone of their life? Can you tell someone who's really struggled, and it doesn't matter what they do, they just seem to be moving around in circles? And the best thing you can do for us is really to share this message with that person. That is the best marketing you can offer to Pauline.
And trust in miracles. Because you may look at it and be like, oh, I don't know what can happen there. Miracles happen with the right information and the right clearing.
I'm feeling led that there is someone on the microphone behind us right now who is very clear of people in their lives that need this work. And all I'm asking them to do is really just share with one person that you know needs the awareness. Share the quiz. You know, the quiz is a very good place to start. Just send them the quiz. But what would be more helpful is send them this discussion I've had with Pauline, because I feel like I've moved from knowing nothing about walk-ins to really understanding how someone's life can be stagnated because of these walk-ins. And if they never get the awareness They could feel cold to their highest potential and just stay really stuck. It's so frustrating to feel cold and not know what to do to get there.
They keep trying, right?
Yeah.
They keep trying, but ignition isn't happening.
It's like they keep pressing the accelerator button, but there is a brake on the car, and so it won't start. It won't move. It won't. If it starts, it's going to start and move for 1 second, and it will stop. And so I would love for you to share this message. Pauline, what is your last words of wisdom for the person on the other side who feels like they have no idea about this work and they didn't know it was a thing until they sat on this call today? And they're like, I don't know, this could be a can of worms. I don't know. What would be your last words of wisdom for them?
You've been conditioned out of your knowing. But that connection is always there, whether you know it or not. So my hand on heart and ask yourself, is this my truth? The world is very loud. Our guidance is not always. It's a quiet voice. And it can be quieter when it's coming into a house that has multiple occupants and baggage. If you're willing to try everything else, but not this, question that. It's a quiz. That's it.
I love it. What has been the book that has been most instrumental for your journey as a walking or someone who's walked this journey?
There's not a lot of books about walk-ins, to be honest, but the most impactful book on me is Hawkins' Power versus Force and the Scale of Human Consciousness. And through reading that book, understanding that I was vibrating in survival. My body was in survival. And because of what was going on inside of it energetically that I had no idea about. But I was attracting at that level, right?
Yes.
And I couldn't figure out why. And it but it was my job to figure it out. Why is all this? Why is this illness happening? Why is this disease happening? Why are these not great things happening in my life? It has to do with me. And when you're in victimhood, which you may be, if you're just realizing, if you're just getting this information, it has everything to do with you.
It does.
Your energy creates your life. And if you have a full house of occupants and baggage, maybe that's why the life that you're living has been created. You know it's not the life for you, but you have the ability to very quickly change that for yourself with the right awareness and the right tools and the right support.
I love it. Your energy creates your life. I'm at a point where I'm beginning to believe that everything is energy.
It is.
I am really beginning to believe that everything is energy.
It is. All illness, disease. I'll give you an example. And the body, like my body, I came into the body in November of 2020. And one of the biggest directions for me are connecting to my guidance and my gifts and clearing my body, right? So my body, I'll give you an example. This body has had pronated arches, so fallen arches. And it showed up. I've always had them, but then I started to have a problem with my right knee last summer. And what showed up was a bruise in the bone marrow and microfractures. Wow. And it's like, oh, okay, that's a very specific message my body is sending. Let me figure that out. went and did the work behind it, the clearing. It was ancestral. It was on the paternal lineage of this body. Cleared that and started to work out, gain the muscle back, and then my right ankle. So right side of the body, that's paternal. And was it was bad. It got bad fast. I couldn't weight bear for a month. I was diagnosed with osteonecrosis in the talus bone of my ankle. So the bone was dying. It was fractured. Osteoarthritis, calcification of the Achilles tendon. They said basically if you weight bear, the entire bone could crumble. So I was like, oh, okay, this is just energy. So do my process and cleared a lot of stuff. The body's just saying, hey, there's some stuff here. And I knew. It's like, okay, I don't care if it's a bone. It doesn't matter. You know, in 3D thinking, you think, oh, bones take a long time to heal. It's no different than anything else. And so as soon as I got the diagnosis, I started to do the work on it. And I said, I'm going to have my 3-month scans for the specialist and they're going to be perfect. And they were. Everything had cleared up. Everything was gone. Because that's how it's meant to be. We're meant to have an illness to show us something, to evolve, to learn what's here. What is this? What is my body telling me? And then when Western medicine gets involved and it's like, oh, you shouldn't have to deal with this and take this medicine and this poison and let's cut this and this out. And it becomes a whole other thing.
I really like the way you look at it. Illness is your body. It's a message from your body. Your body is saying there is something you need to understand. Yeah. But what the hospital does is it says, no, don't worry about it. Take this, take this, take this, take this. So it kind of numbs you to listening to your body. And what you're saying is the body, when it says you're ill, it is saying, I am whispering that there is a problem and I need you to stop and dig in and solve it. But then what the medicine does is it calms it down, numbs it in that moment, and you keep moving.
And it makes you think that the original root cause of why it showed up has been dealt with, and it has not.
I really like if there's one thing I took from today is listen to your body.
And that's what integration is, right? It's honing your guidance, new ways of looking at it. I teach dowsing using a pendulum, right? That's a way of strengthening your guidance. But it's also talking to your body. I teach you how to talk to your body. And knowing like that, my body, I am a being in a body. My body knows what's best for it. And that may look completely different than what you've been conditioned to. Food pyramids and all kinds of crap. And your body's like, no, that's not what I want. I want that. This is what I need. So and you are unstoppable. You connected to your guidance and your body. That's your Merkaba. That's when you go. And it is an exciting journey of expansion and awareness.
I know. I feel the goosies on me right now. I can see how you're radiating a lot of energy. The frequency you're bringing on, I can't even skip it.
And your gifts, the reason you came into a body, the reason you incarnated via walk-in, all those gifts you wanted to bring, you get access to them. Because you've chosen to move forward. It doesn't just sit in your living room.
Thank you so much for answering.
Thank you. You are gifted in drawing the information out and making it very clear. And I love and honor that about you. So thank you. This topic is not the easiest to talk about. And your method, your dedication has made it very crystal clear.
We're not short of information. We are short of clarity. And so I feel very honored to have done this with you, because I feel like if people understood what you do, you wouldn't be the world's best kept secret. This is the information that the world needs the most, yet understands the least. And so I love this show because it's really doing it. It's really getting people's messages and putting them out there. And for you that has stayed with us, really thank you. You need your flowers. You deserve them for sticking around and being with us on this show. And just know that for us to spread this message, it depends on us, you and I, picking one person and saying this person deserves to hear this. And that is how you can be part of the show. There's many ways you can become part of what we're building. We're building the biggest and most impactful community of experts. And there's so many ways you can be involved. One of them is definitely the biggest one, which is share the message with one person. Spread this message.
Yeah, you change their life.
The ads. Let's beat the ads. Let's beat the posting. Let's beat all these launches people are getting to do. Imagine Pauline spends her time marketing, selling, running ads, doing all these things when she could have been serving more people behind the scenes, clearing and integrating so they can just move into their potential. And really, one of the things I wish we achieve as a community is that we reduce the need for experts to self-market. And we can do that by sharing this message with those whose life depends on it. I truly believe that we can.
Well, we want change in the world, right? I think we all agree the world needs change, and we want change in the world. You want to change? Bring change to it, the change makers, the ones who showed up to bring that change. Unleash them and watch the world change.
I love that. There's many ways you can be involved, of course, wherever you're watching. Follow, subscribe. I don't know what the button says. 5-star reviews, rate, like massively, go all in, because this community is growing. And you, my friend, are one of the founders for this community.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this community. And do you have any last words you wanted to give the listener before we press the button?
Everything that you know you're capable of, you are. You came here to be it. Be it. Beyond your wildest dreams. I never thought I would be this person. I was a financial planner living in Canada. Now I do this work. Every aspect of my life is transformed. I live in, I'm looking at the Caribbean Ocean right now. Everything you've envisioned for yourself is possible. With the right awareness and information.
Have a beautiful day, and we'll talk to you very, very soon. That is it, my friend. To listen to more exclusive interviews like this one, simply go to the world's best kept secret podcast.com and select interviews based on preferred topic.